Everyone who's ever traveled has a routine they follow before they get on a plane. And of course, it doesn't have to even be a plane, a train, even car, anything. But I want to specifically talk about planes in this video. Everybody has a routine. Some things are good, some things are bad, and everybody's different. But I'm going to talk about the things that I specifically do my best to avoid doing before getting on a flight, especially a long haul flight. And the first thing that is most important before you get on a long haul flight is to be as comfortable as possible. So I'm just going to rattle stuff off. These are not in any specific order. They're just things that I do and have done. They're tried and true and they work for me. I will say, because everybody's different, there can be some trial and error, but take what suits you and leave the rest. So some of the things I do before I get on a flight, I do my best to hydrate before I get on the plane. I'm notorious for being really bad about staying hydrated while on the plane, but I do everything I can to make sure that before I get on the plane, I am hydrated. And I know some people will say, oh, don't have caffeine or a lot of sugar or, anything crazy like that before you get on a plane. I'm one of those people that I actually love to have a cup of tea, specifically a latte, a chai latte before I get on a plane. And again, depending on where you are in the world, I learned last year it either has caffeine or it doesn't have caffeine. I'm based in the United States. Mine has caffeine. I'm one of those people that caffeine does not affect me. So I love having my chai latte before I get on a plane. It's not only hydrating, but it's also relaxing. I definitely try to drink a lot of water as well, just to make sure that I am giving my body the best chance it has once I get on the plane and I'm suddenly basically in dehydration mode for goodness knows how long, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus hours. I had I worked at a company once with a manager who used to say, hydrate, don't dehydrate. So I definitely hydrate before getting on the plane and dehydrating while I'm on the plane. Don't take after me and not stay hydrated on a plane. I will say that most of the time I end up dehydrating on the plane because I don't like getting up and going to the bathroom frequently since I do sit on the window, but it's also because frankly it's out of my control. I sleep on planes, so I'm automatically going to be dehydrated. It's just the way it is. Of course, the way I mitigate that is once I land, I am sucking down water the first chance I get and every chance I get until I feel hydrated again. So, yeah, one of the things I do before I get on a flight in preparation for it is to hydrate. And again, I don't care what you're drinking, just make sure that you're drinking something you want to be hydrated. Another thing I like to do is not eat a heavy meal before getting on the plane. You just it's an uncomfortable feeling even if you're not flying. Now imagine having had a heavy meal and getting on a plane and quite literally having to sit with it for hours and in a small space. It's just not fun. So there's foods that I like to eat before getting on a plane. Funny enough, quite a few of them actually I found out after the fact have been recommended by dietitians and nutritionists and doctors and things. I am not any of those, by the way. I am a boring business consultant, so please consult a healthcare provider, or whether it's your dietitian, your nutritionist, your doctor. All that to be said, I can tell you what does work for me, and what works for me is having a light meal. Generally, that's something that involves fruit, yogurt. I love having an apple. I love having a parfait before getting on the plane. And these are all things that are really good for hydration. They have fiber in them, which helps keep you, surprisingly, it helps keep you regular. To the surprise of nobody as I say that, because that is something that gets thrown off. So I just love to have something that's really light before I get on the plane. Really, my go-tos are fruit and yogurt and generally like a parfait. I will say parfaits are far overpriced at the airport, so just get ready for that. Unless you're in a lounge, it's great when you're in a lounge at like breakfast time because you can grab all the fruit and the yogurt and stuff. It's a little bit harder later in the day to find those things. Obviously, I'm in a lounge when the lunch and dinner food selection comes out, but I promise you can find a parfait, an overpriced parfait, in the airport before you go. It's just something that I've done for years. I've always felt comfortable with it. I never feel like I'm bloated and just gross on a plane having had a parfait and fruit and yogurt and stuff. So Highly, highly recommend that. Another thing I do to prep for getting on a flight is wearing something comfortable. Uh, I have, I'm sure, said in previous videos that sometimes I will wear my fleece lined jeans on the plane for, I'm looking at my map right now, the farthest I've worn them. I think the farthest I've worn them was over 10 hours on a plane. I'm gonna tell you right now, they were super comfortable. And it's probably because they're actually a little bit oversized on me. I'm not recommending wearing jeans all the time when you're on a plane. For me, they're comfortable. And the number one thing is to wear what's comfortable for you on a plane. So I love wearing my fleece lined jeans if I'm flying to a cold location. I love wearing a pair of leggings or a pair of loose fitting pants, especially like yoga fitness clothes. They're just comfortable. Let's be realistic. You get on a plane and then you're sat there for so long that your feet swell, your legs swell, you get things start to dig into you that you're wearing. It's not a fun thing. I do wear compression socks, by the way. My feet still do swell even with that, but I'm so grateful for compression socks. If you don't have any, 100% you need to buy them. With all that to be said, I just get really comfy before I get on a plane, and I don't overcomplicate the outfit I'm wearing. It is very simple: leggings, tank top or a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or like a puffy coat, depending on if I'm going to a cold location. I really do keep it simple. Just be comfortable. You're in a small space. You're going to be in that space for a long time. Truly, don't overcomplicate it. Um, and on that same vein of thought of not overcomplicating it, make sure that you only have what you need at your seat. It is a shared space. It is a small shared space unless you have your own suite up in first class. I personally fly peasant class in the back of the plane. There's not a lot of space, so don't take too many things with you to your seat. Only the things you need. I can list off just, the quick items there, like any of your important documents. You want to keep those with you at your seat. Believe it or not, in-flight theft does happen. I've never had that experience. I've heard of people that have. And also, more often than not, and I shouldn't say more often than not, more often than I think theft, accidents just happen. People are groggy, they grab the wrong bag. Everybody has a black bag. They Things just happen. So, benefit is out on that one. Important documents, your phone, your electronic devices, 100% should be with you, especially in the age of lithium ion batteries. I can speak today. Any other entertainment you want to have with you that's not your in-flight entertainment? Believe it or not, sometimes that gets really old really fast. I love to have like a book or some sort of small craft to work on. And or my journal, if I do end up not sleeping on a plane, I like to have usually like a scarf that can double as a blanket in case I'm on a flight that doesn't offer blankets. Uh, my coat, some snacks, my water bottle. Do not put your water bottle overhead. I have had one instance where someone did that and they soaked my bag through. It was raining down water from the overhead bin, and it was just an awful experience. Please, please, please do not put your water bottle overhead. Uh, yeah, hard stop. Don't do it. You'll make so many people unhappy when it leaks, inevitably. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Maybe one more thing that I do to stay comfortable or get comfortable for getting on a plane. I guess the big one is I try not to overtax myself before getting to the airport. I do my best to get a good night's sleep. Doesn't always happen. I try not to book myself so solid that now I'm stressed and a little bit frazzled when I get to the airport. I really do try to clear the day. It doesn't always happen. I have had so many days where I worked my 9 to 5. I'd get up early in the morning, I'd work some hours, I'd get to the airport, I'd work some more hours, I'd get on a flight, I'd work some more hours. I had a problem. I'm being far too dedicated to work. And I'm going to tell you right now, work did not care that I was that dedicated to doing my job. So, um, don't over, don't overbook yourself. It's not worth it. I promise you. Take that time, enjoy the day, enjoy the flight. I said it before, I'll say it again just really quick, and then I promise I'll get off my soapbox and let you go. It is still such a privilege to fly, even though it can be a headache a lot of the times. Enjoy it. Take the time. Most people don't get to do this very often. and it really is special. So disconnect, enjoy your flight, and I hope some of that, you tell me that a bit helped in the comments if you want, but I'm hoping some of that helped. Just gave you ideas of how to be comfortable and prepare for a flight, especially those long haul flights. And with that, I will let you go. Bye.